Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kostuba. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, Kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Come on!
Live from Super Soul Farm, it's Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator of the Bhakti Center, New York, Kostuba Das. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's Christmas time here at Super Soul Farm. You can see our fake Christmas tree behind us, filled with squirrel ornaments. An ornament of Gus. What else we got? A beehive. Avocado toast ornament. Yes, it's Christmas time here, Kostuba. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Any Christmas vibes there in Mayapur?
Zero. Nada.
Oh, we had a fun-filled weekend here.
We had a fun-filled weekend here too.
Yeah, we took it
more
easy.
fun.
We took it very easy.
We took it extra easy.
Yeah. I'm covered in paint because I've been
I'm
sleeping a
covered in-
lot. I've been sleeping a lot, and I think I need it. I'm trying to prepare my voice to do the reading of the audiobook this week. And if you didn't order my audiobook, go to my Instagram link in bio and order my order my new book, my published book.
Hold it, but I thought you haven't recorded that yet.
I haven't recorded the audiobook. You got to buy the book. You got to pre-order the book. It'll really help me.
Gotcha.
You go to
I still haven't pre-ordered
Amazon.
that.
Just go to Amazon.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
And go Ray Capo, Punk to Monk. That's what it's called. Makes a great Christmas gift, even though you won't get it for Christmas. What you can do is you can put a little card in there and say, this is Raghu's audiobook coming to your house. Or no, Raghu's book, not audiobook. This is Raghu's hardcover book.
Okay.
I'd like that as a Christmas gift.
No, you would be like, but it's not here yet. You'd be like, what are you talking about? It's Christmas and I want to see it.
Are you trying to discourage sales of my book?
No, I'm not trying to discourage that. I'm just trying to. Okay, you're right. You're right, Raghunath. It would be a great thing to receive on Christmas. I had I went to a Kirtan last night, Raghunath. You would love it. Oh, careful with the coffee there, or whatever it is you got.
Yeah,
there.
what Kirtan did you go to?
I guess it's a regular thing. I think they do it every month here. They call it My Pormello's. There's a place called Jalangi Dham. Do you know where that is?
No.
Jalangi Dham is like one of these new kind of like housing areas.
Developments.
It's you got to ride your bike. I was riding my bike in the dark and jackals and everything like that. You got to ride a ways to get out there. Maybe it's about a 15-minute bike ride.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of devotees live in that area. And they've got like a community hall. They call it the Kanai Balai Hall. And, yeah.
Okay.
And so I came a little late, but I saw Indra Swami lead Kirtan and then Bhattahari Prabhu lead Kirtan. Oh, I'm telling you.
Just on Instagram alone, I'm watching these like next level Kirtans go. I feel like Kirtan's gone to a new stage of awesomeness.
You know what you would have loved about this, Raghunath, is like I'm way over here on this side of town, right? There's like different communities, different living places, So over here, it's just getting dark, and I see like a bunch of like teenagers. They're all dressed up,
Like a
boys,
gang?
girls. No, it wasn't a
Oh, you
gang. It was just a nice group of devotee kids. They're all dressed up. They're kind of like exciting because there's something to do tonight.
right.
But what are they doing? They're going to the exact same place where their parents are going, where their little siblings are. Maybe their guru is there. It's just like, and it's the place to be. Everyone looks great. Everybody's happy. Everybody's like,
You know what's gone on is
what's
we've
going on?
taken regular life and replaced it with Krishna. So you're going
Made
out
it better.
instead of going to the movies, just watching some dumb $1 million movie that is filled with violence and sex. You're going to a kirtan, and you're still with your
Yeah.
friends. You're
Yep.
dancing. You're not just sitting
Yeah.
there and movie told to you. You're actually participating, or you're
Yeah.
singing, or you're leading it, or you're playing an instrument. Or I mean, did you see
All
that
the
video I
generations are
posted?
mixing.
You see
Yeah.
that video I posted of Rocco, my
I
son?
saw that. Yeah.
Like that was a dad win for me. My son is 16 and he's not
He's
smoking
chosen on
cigarettes
his
on the
own.
bus. I wasn't doing what he was doing in that video on the bus, which was making a human pinwheel headed by Keish Rico and a bunch of other 16-year-olds and just like spinning around. And then after that, the next day they come back and they all take down the tent. Like they're just focused on like, okay, how can we render service? How can we be part of a community? I really
You
feel
come
like
you come through a teenage thing like that, you're pure-hearted when you come out the other end. It's like,
or at least you have a standard of what a pure heart, even if you like
yeah,
fall down, you're like, you know what, I gotta get my act, because not everybody can be that speedboat that stays on a straight line, but at least you have a gold standard of what pure devotional service is. Like, I remember when I was, we were doing kirtan or we were setting up the tent, etc. You know what I mean? Some people have like a
sure. Those are
they
the best days. You want
zigzag
to
on
get
their
back to that.
spiritual path.
Yeah. And I'll tell you something, Raghunath. Uh, the highlight for me was the very end. Indra Swami led an incredible kirtan. The whole place was dancing. The whole place was going mad. And then after that, they brought on Bhattahari Prabhu. Now, Bhattahari Prabhu, these are the Prabhupada disciples. These are the seniors in the community, right? These are men in their 70s.
In their
And
70s.
yeah, and he's like gentlest soul you ever want to meet, isn't he?
He's a
Kind, just
gentleman.
like
He's
zero
sweet like anything
ego,
too. I
zero
love him.
pretension, zero attitude, zero. Very talented man in terms of music. And he sat down there and he just played like a lullaby style kirtan.
Yes.
It's a bold thing to do because the person before just tore the house down.
Mm.
And you just say, okay, we're going to just chant, and just chant it real soft, real slow, real mellow, and it was sweet from the beginning, but still, it took a little time. It took a little time to get everybody there. It took a little time. Soon before, you're 5 minutes in. Okay, now we're all 60% there. You're 10 minutes in. Okay, we're all locked in.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can't describe it with words.
Mm-hmm.
But an energy takes over that's like, that only happens. This is something unique that only happens when everybody says, when there's no ego, when nobody's thinking, look at me, nobody's thinking, trying to be cool. No, it's just all with Krishna in the center. And then because Krishna's in the heart of every living being, you're all locked in, united together. And then it starts to lift off and everybody's feeling, and you can just see it. You can just see it on Bhattahari Prabhu's face. It's like, I'm not doing anything, but the whole thing is like a spaceship taking off, and
Yeah.
and everybody, and you feel in that moment, everybody's heart's being worked on, everybody's mind's being worked on, everybody in a way that is satisfying, is pleasing. That this is what we're meant to come together and do.
Kirtan's
Oh
magic. It's
man,
not ordinary. It's not like you're,
not ordinary stuff. When it's
just
pure
from being,
devotees doing it, it's a
yeah.
whole nother, it's a whole nother game.
And there's like a lesson to those who are coming up learning kirtan. It's not like you're muscling your way. Okay, my turn to lead. It's not like that.
No.
You got to get that encouragement from the community of Vaishnavas. Please, you lead. Oh, I don't want to lead. No, you please lead.
Yeah,
It's got to be like that. There was one
And-
time, because I know when I was in a band, there was like an agenda. Okay, we're playing first. We're headlining. We're opening for this band. It's not
Right.
like that whatsoever. It's
No.
not contrived. It's not planned almost. And sometimes when it is planned, you have to go there. Can I tell you an embarrassing story? I probably told you this one already. It's
Not a
so
Calcutta books.
embarrassing.
As long as it's not Calcutta Book Fair, I'm okay with it.
No, we're just finishing our 300-hour training, and it culminates in this big flower festival where they have these great kirtan leaders, and there's like thousands of devotees, and all the pilgrimages from around the world come together and congregate in the Chowpatty Radha Gopinath Mandir. And so they came up early in the day while I was still at the Govardhan Eco Village, and they said, Raghunath, you're on the kirtan list tonight. I was like, oh, I'm on the kirtan list. Like, they asked me to sing kirtan. I was like, okay. And then I started getting excited. Like, I'm on the kirtan list. I'm on the list.
Rock the house.
I'm gonna rock the house tonight. All those, and then I started like thinking, okay, what melody am I gonna rock the house with? No, that won't be good. I'm planning this whole thing. And then Tarun was a little baby at the time, and I remember my ex-wife just going, "Okay, you got Tarun." I was like, "I got Tarun. I'm on the list tonight." And I was like walking around with the baby. I was like, "I don't know when I'm on the list. I don't know when I'm on the list." And I was like, "What am I going to do with the baby once I'm on the list?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm going to have to pass off the baby to somebody because I'm on the list." And then someone said, "Okay, you're after something like Gauravani or something like that." And then Gauravani went on, but someone else went on afterwards. I was like, wait a second, I'm on the list. That's my spot on the list. And I was like, the whole time I'm trying to pepper it with, hey, this is for Krishna, this is for Krishna. But you could tell I was attached.
Okay.
And then finally, I'm just like looking around at whoever's in charge of organizing the kirtan. No one's giving me a straight answer. I got this baby in my hands. There's like tens of thousands of people packed into this room. I'm sort of losing it a little. And then someone just goes, "Oh, Raghunath, you're on next." And I was like, okay, I'm on next. I'm finding someone to hold the baby. And I go into the back because you can go where the pujari room is, where usually no one is except the priests. And then out of nowhere, who walks in? But Indrajumna Swami and Badahari are like, and everyone's like, oh my God, Indrajumna Swami and Badahari here. Like the two of the bigger senior kirtan leaders in the world show up. And I was like, okay, there goes my spot on the list. Please kirtan right now. I was like, it was just like usurped from me. And then I realized, okay, I get it. I was too attached to this. It was taken away. It was taken away.
He withdrew it.
It was taken away. And I was so and I still had,
someone
handed me the baby back. And I was like, I can't enjoy it. And it was funny because.
But you knew.
You know what happened? I knew this was Krishna crushing my desire to be the center because Krishna's Bihariji. Krishna is the enjoyer. You're not the enjoyer. You enjoy through the service, boss. That's period. So Krishna took that away. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to just enjoy this kirtan. I'm going to take care of it. My duty here is to take care of this baby. I'm not to be Mr. Kirtan dude in the center on the stage diving, etc. Just take care of this baby. So I found this humble place way in the back. I'm just going to sit back. I found a chair. And I sat with this baby. I had the ears covered, rocking this baby. And then I was like, you know what? And now I'm just going to go to bed. I'm going to skip the big feast. I'm going to go to bed. And I walked out. And guess what? Radha Swami was walking in and he grabs me by the shoulder. He goes, come. And he pulled me in to lead. It's one of those things you have to like let go of all. You got to let go of it. Krishna doesn't want anybody contaminated. And that's why Krishna, they say that pure devotional service, it's rarely achieved. Why? Because we're leading with that ego. And if you want to get close to Krishna, he wants you free from all contaminants because it's a very holy mandala, your Ras mandala you're dancing in. And you can't bring your dark ego into sacred places.
I'll tell you a beautiful thing that I was taking note of, Raghunath.
Yes.
Well, like let's go back. You were kind of framing things like in a rock band kind of context, and if you think of it, like the big stars, like if you're Madonna and you see Britney Spears coming up,
oh yeah,
it's not like you're like, oh yeah, this is great. No, you're like
you're envious.
You're like, oh my God, they're gonna push me out. The Lady Gaga now. Oh God, it's like
Miley Cyrus. Who's new and young? Who's new but young?
Taylor Swift is the big one now. What?
She knew. Okay.
She's huge. She's huger than anyone, like all time.
Is she young?
Yeah.
She's young. Okay. I don't
She's like
know. I
that.
don't know these things.
Well,
I
you
know it's
asked, so we're telling you.
it's okay. I should know.
So anyway, so but here, like I was watching last night, it's like, okay, you got Bhatta Hari Prabhu up there. Bhatta Hari Prabhu, he doesn't, he's got no interest in maintaining any kind of position or any. It's the last thing on his mind.
That's a great point. There's no
And
material envy like there
yeah,
is in the music scene.
yeah. And so what he does, I see, okay, he's got some young lady who's he can see, oh, she's got the right mood, she's got the right attitude, she's got a great voice, puts her up there. Then, he leaves her up, turns to her. It's just like training them up, getting people stepping
Yeah.
in,
Yeah.
like that it's not only like they're not afraid of new people coming up, they want the new people coming up. As a matter of fact, they're even happy to be replaced by new people coming up. It's just like, yeah, let it thrive. It's when we get all of this garbage out of our minds, all the petty stuff, then life becomes sweet finally. Beautiful
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Beautiful
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. That was yeah, it's interesting. It's the same exact thing, minus the material consciousness, minus the
Yeah.
envy, minus the competition.
Raghunath, you look around that community and you just see just a beautiful mix of people. Again, all ages, from little
Yeah,
kids.
you want
Even they got little
unity and
kids.
diversity and
Yeah,
come
like
on
some
to a
people are like,
kirtan, people.
you got sannyasis there. You got like all kinds of beautiful young ladies, all these Russian and Ukrainian, and they're just like they just got great hearts. They're just like, everybody's like, this is what we love. All these young men, they're like dancing up like crazy. They're getting into it. Then you got like the kind of more like sadhu kind of people, and you got the more kind of like the pundit kind of people, and you got just a mix. The old Prabhupada disciples, like the old guard, everybody together. It's just a beautiful, beautiful community. It's if we would just let go of our egos, it's just this
No, I
baggage that
won't.
we're carrying around.
Keeping my ego around with me. It
Yeah.
serves
And
a purpose.
Kirtan's
Keeps
the
me
way,
embodied.
All
Well,
right,
that's
Raghunath.
good. That sounds like a wonderful
It
weekend,
was great.
Kastuba and Mayapur.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Mara, we
Yes.
got announcements.
Miss Mara, tell us something about yourself. Intimate.
We have some
Excuse me.
announcements. We have back to your recovery group meetings today at 1, 2, and 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
Anything else?
Okay.
Nothing else?
And that's it. That's all I got.
But what we're
What
going to
time
go
it-
like 6:00 this week. That's kind of this. Excuse me. That's
Yeah, I
kinda
think we'll
standard.
stick at 6 a.m. We got to figure out when Raghu's in the city, if he'll still be able to do it Thursday. or
Raghu's in the
Friday.
city.
I'm in the city. I'm in the city.
Okay.
I,
Stay at my place. My place is there for you. Raghu, you want to stay at my place? It's there for you, man.
You know what? I'm staying with my brother in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, because you're recording out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I want to stay with my mom too. I miss my mom.
What's that?
Okay, let's do this.
Let's get into it.
Are we going to skip the nugget and just that was
No,
sort of
we can do that. Well, as you like.
we sort
Why don't
of-
we just get into the Bhagavatam?
Let's get into the Bhagavatam. That whole thing was a nugget. That was
Yeah.
nugget worthy.
All right.
Puncta Monk, a memoir by Ray Capo. Okay. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayat. Before he started the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, and to Narayan Rishi, the supremest human being, to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayesh vabhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome in the heart will become eradicated. And loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Gyana Timarandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 12. Text 18.
Yeah. So, where are we? What's going on? Oh, Vritrasura. Oh, you know what happens now? This is a breakthrough moment, Raghunath. You know what happens now? What was that?
It was my mind being blown, breaking
That's
through.
because you've been reading the Mahabharata. Oh man,
Oh
if
man,
we
don't
could
get
go
me going.
there,
The
forget about
Mahabharata
it.
is so. I feel like that new version of the Mahabharata. H.D.
Game
Goswami is going to be on
changer.
the show because it is. I feel like it's stitching together every loose end of my Krishna consciousness. Like, oh, now the
Now I
whole thing
understand.
makes sense.
Now I
The
get it.
spiritual world makes sense. Aliens make sense. God makes sense. The avatars make sense. Krishna makes sense. Vyasadeva makes sense.
You know, it's kind of
Demons
like
make sense. Indra, you know what I realized?
yes,
The
Indra makes
importance of
sense.
Indra in the
He's so
in the
important.
celestial realm, and the
Yeah.
reason why the Vedas deal with Indra so much, because
You
most
know,
of the
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
just because most of the because there's such a high position in the material realm, and people are materially attached. So why not get to Indraloka? Why not go through the heavenly planets, etc.? And then all of a sudden you see that Indra actually, with all his power, is not fully powerful. He still succumbs to he's got to just go, I need Lord Vishnu right now. I can't
I
do
need
this.
what
Yeah, and
that's
Yamaraj and Vasu are like, you really got to turn to the avatar, Lord Vishnu, at this point. We can't do this.
and that's really what I'm seeing too. Is just like this is the nature of you see when Krishna comes to this world, you got paint all over yourself.
Covered in paint. I know. And I've been
Okay.
sleeping in. I just literally just woke up, chanted 2 rounds, and now I'm here.
Okay. Um, that the way Krishna works in this world, you know, when he comes, he brings Goloka Vrindavan with him. That means he brings the spiritual realm,
No.
and he displays what's going on in the spiritual realm in Goloka Vrindavan. But then he's
Right.
got this whole other life outside of Vrindavan, where he's like mixing it up in the big Star Wars thing going on, and
That's what exactly.
right,
Like, it's
he's
got
playing a
nothing
whole
to
nother
do with
game.
Krishna. It's got nothing to do with Krishna. Krishna's
In
got
what
his own
sense?
little planet of play. Then you have these avatars who are peering into the celestial world and sometimes into uh,
Into what?
sometimes showing up on Earth on your
Yeah,
doorstep as well.
and there's that and that one time with you know, so a lot of what Krishna's role in this world is bringing stability and maintaining dharma, and he does
Mm-hmm.
that when things get pushed to the limit. Then the avatar comes, right? Then the devas pray, and the avatar appears, and he comes in so many different ways, and they're used to this. They kind of get it. Like when we really need him, the avatar always Vishnu always comes in some form. You never know exactly what form he's going to come in, you know. He's come as a fish, he's come as a tortoise, you know. But but in you
And
know
all the
5,000
demigods'
years ago,
minds are blown like, oh my God, look what he came in this time.
that's why I think we're about to enter the 7th canto. That's when he comes as Nrsimhadev. It's like, whoa, we've never
We
seen the
weren't ready for
avatar
this.
appear in such a ferocious form. But and when he comes as Krishna, it's like Krishna himself decides, let me be the avatar, like me, Krishna, actually play the role of the avatar. I'll just come as myself.
Mm.
And that's the most special one of all. And he
And
gets mixed right up into all the intrigue. You know,
if
I'll
you
drive his
grew
chariot.
if you
I'll
if you
drive Arjuna's chariot, you know. So cool.
I think when a lot of Americans who's never sort of left America, what to speak of, you grew up in an inner city and like I don't know what the inner city is anymore. Like when we were growing up, it was like the Bronx. If you grew up in the
South
Bronx or
Bronx.
something, it was like hellish. South Bronx. It's probably nicer now. But if you grew up in the inner city, you can't even imagine going to like Switzerland or going to Norway or going to these very breathtaking places in the world, or
I'm
even
gonna
these
cry.
beautiful German city villages. They're like breathtaking. The architecture, the hills, the waterfalls, the sunsets. It's just like breathtaking. It's
Okay.
like what it is for us going to a heavenly planet, and their descriptions of these heavens. And like, oh, that's what it could be like. It's sort of so out of our mind, so out of our. We've been living in a dark, dirty hole. So to imagine that there can be beauty beyond what we know as beauty, which is like sort of like a dandelion growing through a crack in the pavement. No, no, breathtaking beauty, and that's just a heavenly realm. with these super beings, right? Just sometimes
Yeah.
you go to there's some countries where people are just more beautiful than other countries. You know what I mean? I hate to.
What are you trying to say?
Some prettier countries. You know who you are. And anyway, it's just like you go to a realm where everyone's beautiful. This is what it's like to go into celestial planets. Everyone's bigger, taller, gorgeouser, more gorgeous. And then of course you have, what do you call it? Then you have the spiritual realm, which is outside of that. So this Mahabharata is giving you windows into other worlds. That's what I'm feeling.
That's what I'm plugging into, Raghunath, is the idea that we should always be aware. We should always be confident that the avatar will come when we need him. Like Krishna will appear in some form, in some way that we may not even be expecting. You know, when trouble is there, we simply turn to Krishna, and he can appear in so many ways. So what's going on now is really interesting. Here's Indra again, and I feel like I know Indra better than I knew him before, just from reading these
me
first
too.
chapters
Me
of
too.
Mahabharata, right? I have a picture of him in my mind. It's not the painting in the BBT paintings anymore. It's like a movie star Indra.
Yeah.
You know, big, strong, handsome, powerful, but struggling. Struggling to maintain order, struggling to maintain dharma, struggling that the demons don't overtake everything. And now he's kind of here back in Bhagavatam. He's in this really weird position where he thought he was fighting a demon, and now he's realizing the demon is a really good devotee, and I'm supposed to kill him. And the demon was just preaching to him, "Come on, do it, pick it up, throw that thunderbolt at me." And now, before he kills him, Indra's going to praise Vritrasura. He's going to say, "I recognize in you that you are a true devotee of Vishnu. I can tell." And we'll hear a bit about how he sees that in him now. So text 18.
Right. Text 18. Sukadeva Goswami said, hearing the straightforward, instructive words of Vritrasura, King Indra praised him and again took the thunderbolt in his hand. Without bewilderment or duplicity, he then smiled and spoke to Vritrasura as follows. Indra said, "O great demon, I see by your discrimination and endurance in devotional service, despite your dangerous position, that you are a perfect devotee of the personality of Godhead, the supersoul and friend of everyone. You have surmounted the illusory energy." Oh, okay. You
slow it down. Indra's recognizing you're a devotee, even though everything external about you, your birth, the way that you look, the side that you're fighting on, everything external about you says demon. But everything that you're expressing with your words and your sincere words is saying you're connected to that, what he calls the Suridam Jagadishvaram, the great friend of the entire universe, the supreme controller, who's the dear friend of every living being. All your other demons on your side, they don't get it that Vishnu's everyone's friend. Somehow they got this competitive attitude towards him. You don't have that at all. You're like us. You realize he's the friend of everyone. And it seems to me like you understand it better than I understand it. He couldn't kill him without saying this, you know?
Right.
Okay.
Text 20. You have surmounted the illusory energy of Lord Vishnu.
Oh.
And because of this liberation, you have given up the demonic mentality and have attained the position of an exalted devotee.
Oh, this is interesting too, Raghunath.
O Vritrasura, demons.
Slow.
What am I, a horse?
Well, why do you keep going? What would you prefer me to say instead of ho?
Slow it down. Ho, Nelly. All right, go on.
So, when we were reading that, there's so much to gather. reading about the battles between the Devas and the Asuras. There's so much to learn. You know, I don't know, was it on the show we're speaking about? I think it was. Yeah, it was when we're doing the Q&A the other day where we're speaking a bit about how Radhanath Swami kind of illuminated how well he illuminates the story of the churning of the ocean of milk, right?
Mhm.
Where the Devas and the demons are kind of like, although they're enemies, they had to work together on a project. We can learn so much of this. Now, what the pastime that we just read in Mahabharata, it has on that same bank of that same ocean, the Devas and the demigods are fighting, and the Devas are winning, right? They're pushing them back, and they're piling up the casualties and so on. And then the demons, the demons, they get that this world operates by certain laws of Dharma. They get that. And they know that if we break those laws, in the long run, we suffer. But when they're pushed, they break it. And so that's when they resorted to black magic. And they were creating all kinds of illusions, right? They had the power to create energy that's just so confusing, right? That's so bewildering that it can push the demigods to the limit. And then when the illusion is the darkest, when you're most confused, when the movings of the world seem to be just too much, then the Devas pray to the avatar. They pray to Vishnu. Then again, I don't know how many years I'm going to have to wait to see this scene, right? Lord Vishnu coming across the ocean of milk, riding on Garuda. And everyone's like, and as he's approaching, all the illusory energy dissipates, right? And this is key, is that when we're most confused by he said, you have surmounted the illusory energy of Lord Vishnu. When we invite that avatar to appear in our own consciousness, right? It's as simple as that. So much of when we're caught up by the illusory energy, when we're bewildered by the black magic of this world, if we just allow the avatar to arise in our mind, how do we do that? It's as simple as chanting Mahamantra. It's as simple as in the mind going Chintamani Prakara Sadmasuko, just chanting these beautiful verses. Just give the avatar an opportunity to come, to enter in and the illusory energy dissipates. You know, you with me? You with me?
Do you believe in magic? You have surmounted the illusory energy of Lord Vishnu, and because of this liberation, you have given up the demoniac mentality and have attained the position of exalted devotee. O Vritrasura, demons are generally conducted by the mode of passion. Therefore, what a great wonder it is that although you are a demon, you have adopted a mentality of a devotee and have fixed your mind on the supreme personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, who is always situated in pure goodness.
No, read 22. Let's read this and the purport to 22.
A person fixed in devotional service of the Supreme Lord Hari, the Lord of the highest auspiciousness, swims in the ocean of nectar. For him, what is the use of water in a small ditch?
Okay. You want to read the commentary to that?
Yeah, Vritrasura has this purport. Vritrasura has formerly prayed in 6:11:25. Nanaka pristam nacha paramestiam nasarvam bomam na rasadipatyam. I do not want the facilities for happiness on Brahmaloka, Swargaloka, or even Dhruvaloka. Right? Not to speak of this earth, right? These are much higher planetary systems than this measly earthly planetary system. Not to speak of this earth or the lower planets. I simply want to return back to Godhead, home back to Godhead. This is the determination of a pure devotee. A pure devotee is never attracted to any exalted position within this material world. They simply want to associate with the supreme personality of God, like the inhabitants of Vrindavan, Srimati Radharani, the gopis, Krishna's father and mother, Nanda Maharaj and Yasoda, Krishna's friends and Krishna's servants. He wants to associate with Krishna's atmosphere of Vrindavan's beauty. These are the highest ambitions of a devotee of Krishna. Devotees of Lord Vishnu may aspire for a position in Vaikuntha Loka, but a devotee of Krishna never aspires even for the facilities of Vaikuntha. He wants to return to Goloka Vrindavan and associate with Lord Krishna in his eternal pastimes. Any material happiness is like water in a ditch, whereas the spiritual happiness eternally enjoyed in the spiritual world is like an ocean of nectar in which the devotee wants to swim. Pretty amazing, huh? This is like the nuances of spiritual liberation.
I heard an analogy the other day, Raghunath.
Did you? Tell me.
That the bliss of the self, and of course for us, we understand the bliss of the self is something that's in relation to Krishna, right? Like our inner bliss, that is our nature. We're Satchidananda. We're eternal. We're full of knowledge. We're full of bliss. Those are the inherent features of our nature. That happiness, that bliss that is our nature, we understand that bliss as it's the bliss of being Krishna's servant. It's the bliss of belonging to Krishna, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice try, Raghunath, like you're listening. You're doing anything but listen. What are you doing?
I'm looking who's there in Mexico.
Come on, man. Let's talk.
I am. I'm listening and looking. You look and listen.
I look at you when we're talking.
Oh, okay.
Now hear me out.
You don't look at other people at the same time?
All right, you go ahead.
I've got nothing. I was just looking. I was listening and looking.
No, just go ahead. Keep reading.
Right. Next verse. All right. Text 23. Sukadeva Goswami said, Vritrasura and King Indra spoke about bhakti, devotional service, even on the battlefield. And then, as a matter of duty, they again began fighting. Pretty interesting, huh? My dear king, both of them were great fighters and were equally powerful. Omaraj Prickett, Vritrasura, who's completely able to subdue his enemy, took his iron club, whirled it around, aimed it at Indra, and then threw it at him with his left hand. It's interesting how warfare was in the old days. Try to imagine these fights, even on Earth, happening before gunpowder.
Yeah.
What it was like to be in a battle.
It's gory.
Even with a bayonet. Imagine having to bayonet somebody. Horrible. Vritrasura bleeding profusely. With his thunderbolt named Sataparvan. Huh. His thunderbolt had a name, Kostuma.
Okay.
Indra simultaneously cut to pieces Vritrasura's club and his remaining hand. Vritrasura, bleeding profusely, his two arms cut off at the roots, looked very beautiful, like a flying mountain, whose wings have been cut to pieces by Indra.
Who can imagine? I cannot picture in my mind exactly what this looked like.
If you really want to shake your faith, there are mountains that fly. Test your faith.
Okay.
It's a thing you hear about, flying mountains. Very interesting. Okay, mountains are beings. We had a whole episode on that, didn't we? Mountains are beings. Vritrasura was very powerful in physical strength and influence. He placed his lower jaw on the ground and his upper jaw in the sky. His mouth became very deep, like the sky itself, and his tongue resembled a large serpent. With his fearful death-like teeth, he seemed to be trying to devour the entire universe.
So he's doing some kind of magical stuff here.
Right. It's stretching his mouth like open wide. Thus, assuming a gigantic body, the great demon Vritrasura shook even the mountains and began crushing the surface of the earth with his legs, as if he were the Himalayas walking about. He became before Indra, and swallowed him. And he swallowed Indra's elephant, Airavata, his carrier, just as a big python might swallow an elephant. When the demigods, along with Brahma and other Prajapatis and other great saintly persons, saw that Indra had been swallowed by the demon, they became very morose. Oh, alas, they lamented. What a calamity! What a calamity!
So they're seeing that, you know, this is the person that's responsible for maintaining order in the universe. If he goes down, we all go down. Dharma goes
We're all
down.
going down.
The whole thing turns into a big hellhole because the demons, once they take over, they just, everything that makes life centered around God gets knocked out of whack.
Right.
And so they're dependent on Indra to kind of hold his ground, you know.
Although the thunderbolt,
The protective
armor of Narayan, which Indra possessed, was identical with Narayan himself, the supreme personality of Godhead. Protected by that armor and by his own mystic power, King Indra, although swallowed by Vritrasura, did not die within the demon's belly.
Okay.
With his thunderbolt, King Indra, who was also extremely powerful, pierced through Vritrasura's abdomen and came out. Ugh. Indra, the killer of the demon Bala, then immediately cut off Vritrasura's head, which was as high as the peak of a mountain. You got to imagine the demigods and the sages and the saints were all cheering. Although the thunderbolt revolved around Vritrasura's neck with great speed, separating his head from his body, took 1 complete year, 360 days, the time in which the sun, moon, and other luminaries complete a northern and southern journey. Then, at the suitable time for Vritrasura to be killed, his head fell to the ground. When Vritrasura was killed, the Gandharvas, the Siddhas in the heavenly planets, beat kettle drums in jubilation. With Vedic hymns, they celebrated the prowess of Indra, the killer of Vritrasura, praising Indra and showering flowers upon him with great pleasure. O King Cricket, subduers of enemies, the living spark then came forth from Vritrasura's body and returned home back to Godhead. So Vritrasura had a happy ending because he was a great soul. He wasn't going to take birth on a lower planet or have a heart. The spark of him getting killed by Indra, right? Well, the living spark came forth from Vritrasura's body and returned home back to Godhead. While all the demigods looked on, he entered the transcendental world to become an associate of Lord Shankarshan.
I'm
That's
going to
it.
read the commentary here. It says, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that Indra, not Vritrasura, was actually killed. He says that when Vritrasura swallowed King Indra and his carrier, the elephant, he thought, now I have killed Indra, and therefore there's no more need of fighting. Now let me return home back to God. Thus he stopped. He's saying, in one sense, that ultimately Vritrasura, like a yogi in samadhi, left his body. It appeared like Indra was killing him, but really Vritrasura just chose to go. Interesting. Now I'll try to share one more time what I was sharing before, Raghunath.
Thank you, please. I'm all ears.
So Sat Chit Ananda, that's the nature of the self. That's what we all are. We lose our confidence in that. We lose touch with that. We identify with the mind, and we lose the feeling of that inner bliss. But now as Bhakti Vedantas, right? As Vedantins who understand Bhakti, we would say who get the complete picture of Vedanta. We understand that Ananda is what it is it has everything to do with I belong to Krishna. I am made of Krishna's energy. I'm part of Krishna. My Ananda is found through that nature of being his servant, his lover. And the analogy I was hearing was just like saying that bliss that we have, that is our nature, is like an ocean, a fathomless ocean, a bottomless ocean practically. And what we're doing in here in this world is just, like how in the ocean, there's just like a little mist on top of the ocean, like a little splash, a little,
Yeah. Little.
little spritz kind of thing. That the happiness that we're looking for in this world is just that little spritz on top, just that little,
Just a little.
yeah, just a little, it doesn't even get you wet.
Spray.
Yeah, it's a little spray.
Like those things
even,
like a Mexican beach bar. They have those little misters coming down.
Mist. It can't even really get you wet or anything like that.
Doesn't even get you wet. It just feels okay.
And we're chasing it. We're working for it. We're captivated by it, bewildered by it. When all along, our nature is like that ocean. It's something so deep and so unfathomable. So, in any case, what a special character this Vritrasura is. What his prayers, his insights, they're pointing the way. For all the Vedantins, if we want to understand where it all leads, Vyasadeva, the avatar, literary avatar in this age, he's pointing us directly in this. Look, hear what Vritrasura has to say. This unique person, right? Next chapter, we're gonna hear from the demons again. Hear what Prahlad has to say, right? So much good stuff coming up.
The spark, those drips, Kastuba, is very similar to how we started the show. We're talking about Kirtan and Kirtan leaders and the mentality behind Kirtan. It's not like, when I was doing the band in the height of me being a singer of a band, it's not like there wasn't pleasure there. There's a lot of pleasure in, before the show starts, everybody cheering. While you're on stage, everybody cheering. They're clapping after the show. There's a lot of pleasure there. But material consciousness, it's mixed with the pleasure is mine. It's for my pleasure. So, of course, there's pleasure, but it's mixed with, I don't want to lose this position.
Anxiety.
There's people that want to take me down. There's people above me where I want to get to.
Envy.
And then, of course, there's like maybe some embarrassment or some humiliation. I'm on stage. I split my pants. We've all been there,
We've all been.
Whatever it is, when I'm doing it with ego, I have everything to lose. And when you're doing it with pure devotion, you're just in that beautiful flow of service and love and joy. It doesn't end when you get off stage.
We just have to have the confidence to let go, right? Just like, what were you saying? You had to let go and then it came. It's just like
you had to let go and then it came. Boom. That's a takeaway.
Yeah. Oh, that's the takeaway. Well, we're practically at the takeaway point right now.
We are at the takeaway point.
Yeah.
What's
got some takeaways, Mary?
What was that last one, Mary?
Let's
let's start off with that one.
What was it?
What was it? What was it? What did I just say?
You just gotta let go. You just gotta let go. Then it all comes.
Gotta let go.
Then it all comes.
Then it all comes. That's it.
Ooh, I like this one. Maya says, ego has everything to lose. Humility has everything to gain. Okay, we'll take that.
JTE.
Keep a gold standard of pure devotional service.
Gold standard.
Drop your ego and put Krishna in the center.
Drop it.
Drop it.
Get the garbage out of your mind and let Kirtan thrive.
Oh, yeah.
Let the Kirtan roll.
The avatar will always come when we need him.
The avatar will always come when I need him.
The pure devotee only wants association, not position.
That's right.
Yeah.
Material happiness is water in a ditch.
Oh, dirty
water
ditch,
in a ditch. That sounds like a song, doesn't it? Like a children's nursery rhyme. We're all just water in a ditch. Okay, go on.
If Indra goes down, we're all going down.
Oh, Indra goes down, we're all going down.
Oh,
you know what else, Kastuba? We're reading the Mahabharata again. Yeah.
Where are you up to?
We are where various demons are taking birth in regular families. So the son of
royal families.
In royal families. And it makes you think like, oh, I get it. Because they're sneaking in. They're sort of.
Let me ask you something. Have you seen the scene yet where Jarasandha meets Satyavati?
No.
Oh
No,
man,
we're
it is
co-
creepy. It
Okay.
is creepy.
I mean, it's so weird because you're thinking, because the father's not. Did the father know? You hear about these great demons
Yeah, the
ahead of
father
time.
knew.
Hear about these great demons ahead of time, and then you hear like
the
you got to
father
watch
knew.
out. This great demon is going to take birth in this family, and it's a family of like saintly kings.
Mm.
And you're like, oh, wait a second. Then I
This could be
started
hard
thinking,
for
I was
him.
like, oh, I get it. Demons can be taking birth on Earth right now too. Demons can be taking birth to destroy piety, to destroy peace, to destroy, godliness. They can even be doing it in disguise
They could
of
even
a
be
good
right
family or religious
in your
families.
own home. They could
Your own-
even be right
own-
next to you right now. Mara. Who would have suspected Mara? No. Jarasunda, a young teenage Jarasunda meets such a devotee. He tries to enter into her mind.
Hold that. Hold
It's
that thought.
creepy stuff. It's creepy. All right.
Okay.
Got something more,
Continuing
Mara?
on.
And
That's it. We're already on and.
yeah, Kirtan events are the place to be.
This is the place to be.
What
was
Kirtan
that? What
events
was
are
that
the place
smirk?
to be.
You weren't satisfied with that, right?
Well, not really, but it's true.
We didn't have-
Kirtan events are the place to be. No, I don't have a better one, Mara.
Neither
You know-
did the chat board. I tried.
Well, I can't even think about I can't even remember what I said. All right, everybody. Okay, look, there's like a whole crew of people in our Mexican posse there. Hola, Mexico. Great to see you guys.